Good afternoon. Oh, maybe I can't hear. Okay.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you. All right. Totally helpful. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. All right. We're going to, hold on. Good afternoon, David. Or actually, I don't know if that was just Edie just now. Sorry. Whoever said that. Thank you. Was that Edie? Thank you for saying.
It was me.
It was you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Edie. All right. Good afternoon, Edie. You in? Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, Zitlali. Good afternoon, Noelia. Good afternoon, Shankia. Good afternoon, Jacob. Good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon, Edie. Yes. Oh, I like the caps. Okay. Good afternoon, Kirsty. Good afternoon, Liani. Good afternoon, Tomika. Good afternoon, Hoyin. Good afternoon. Oh, yes, Catherine and everyone. Well, okay. Thank you, private message person. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm okay. Not great. How about you? Well, I can't ask because, all right. Good afternoon, Shomari. Right. Yes, I believe all I want in homework 5 part B is the sketch. We will get to that in a second, but yes, good question, private chat person. Okay, we have a crazy, this is what's gonna happen. Oh, wait, no, nothing's gonna happen because I'm gonna let the next person. Okay. Here's the thing, I'm gonna get straight, sort of, actually, I really am gonna get straight. Yes, what's gonna happen is, so nobody got grades back, but some of you might have noticed that a lot of your exams actually are graded. I don't know if you could tell that or not, because I didn't put final grades in any of them yet, but a lot of them, if you look, and I'm not telling you to look right now, but just saying that a lot of them, like there are marks and numbers all over them, and a final score for each part. I just didn't add anyway. But I didn't finish all of them, but I need to finish all of them, and you need me to finish all of them. There's no question about that. And that's what's going to happen. But also I heard that you had a board meeting with Professor Wu, and that it was like good, or at least in some people's opinions, good, but didn't get finished. So at least one of you wrote to me about that. So here's what we're going to do, actually. Let me slow down a little bit. I also put a couple things in your stream that might have confused you, or you might have noticed. Here's what's going to happen. In the interest of everything, in the interest of that we only have 3 more days, and that's like good and bad. And the interest that you didn't finish your board meeting with Professor Wu, and I love board meetings. In the interest that I haven't finished your exams, but I totally want you to have them before we're done. Oh, I thought, wait. Oh, it's that you didn't get to have it at all? Is that what it is? Oh, it's that you didn't get to have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, that's even more. Oh, then wait, I misunderstood something. I'm still going to say what I was going to say, but maybe it's even more important that I say what I was going to say. So let me back up and ask this. Is correct? Wait, okay. So I'm sorry, hold on one second. Okay. So you submitted. Okay. So let me ask this. You have had in your, no, and I'm sure it wasn't you, and thank you, every direct message person right now. I'm sure it was my misunderstanding. And as you can tell, I am taking seriously what you told me, private chat people. I'm sure you were clear, and and we're going to go with, you did. So the point is, you have correct. Is this correct? How can I phrase this in a concise? Have you guys ever, in Physics 204 with Professor Wu this semester, have you had one board meeting at all? Like, have you had, wait. Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Right, you have not had Gamma, but so, and Gamma is the third one. So you've had the experience of a board meeting at some point with him this semester. Like you had Alpha, but yes. Okay, thank you. Super helpful. Okay, so in other words, you know what one is. Okay. It was brief. Okay, fair enough. And I'm reading the chat. Fair enough. So at least those of you who've been going to class and going to lab vaguely know what I'm talking about when I say board meeting. That's like the helpful board thing. Even if you don't exactly know what I'm talking about when I'm saying board meeting, it's still kind of okay. Because here's the point. I mean, I really do believe in board meetings. I love board meetings. I think education doesn't happen efficiently during board meetings, but it happens much more deeply than in lectures and whatnot. But that's to say, when it's not in COVID on Zoom, like they're even more fraught and challenging on Zoom and all of that. But there's something really to be said for student discussions and students helping each other, to put it mildly. There's a lot to be said in science for you guys helping each other, which is why I even believe in it for exams, yada, yada, yada. So here's the point. If you were going to have one with him and then that opportunity, like we ran out of time or whatever, I totally respect that. And we are running out of time here in general, but I'm making an executive decision in part because of some feedback that I got from some of you in between classes and like early this morning, or like this morning and stuff. What's going to happen this period? I'm going to slow down and say this. We're going to have an unusual rec period today, even though we still only have 2 more. And even though there's tons of things I'd love to be able to say to all y'all, before the semester ends, that's just the way it is. I'm not going to be able to say everything. I'm only going to test you on what I say or what we say here. So in light of all considerations, what's going to happen this period is momentarily, very shortly, I'm going to shut off my mic. I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm probably even going to turn off my speaker, but I'm going to leave this channel on. I'm going to stay sitting here. I might turn off my face. I'm not sure, whatever. But I'm going to basically remove myself from consciousness from you guys. I'm going to leave the channel on. I'm going to sit right here. And 2 things are going to happen at least for an hour, if not the whole rest of the period. What's going to happen is you guys are going to stay on the channel and discuss or work in any way you want. Like you're going to have a super informal board meeting. You're going to have the opportunity to discuss wait. Okay. I'm totally reading the direct chat. Thank you. I totally hear. Wait. Okay, wait, slow down. Hold on the final. As far as when the final is going to be posted, I have answered that question and it's in Google Classroom. And just slow down for a second, please. Let me explain this first. What's going to happen is I'm going to be quiet in a couple of minutes. You guys are going to stay on. Obviously, you can come and go as you please. I'm not going to enforce that, but you're going to stay on and have the ability and right and responsibility to help each other with 2 things, maybe even 3. 1, you can discuss any of the issues that are due for Professor Wu at all, any of the things that are due for Professor Wu, whether it's the board meeting that you were supposed to have today or not. You can discuss amongst each other, like right here and now, through public chat, through private chat, through, you could do it on the side in your Discord, in your like WhatsApp apps and all that, or Discord if you want, but you'll see why in a minute. That might not be the most beneficial thing. You're going to discuss, you're going to help each other with whatever lab issues you have right now. You're also going to help each other with the homework, the most recent homework I posted that about 40% of you did turn in, but 60% of you didn't. If you look in the Google Stream, you'll notice that I changed the date of that homework. I gave like an extension to tonight, and I made it a huge amount of points. I made it like, I doubled the points or something. I made it like 900 points, okay? And I'm saying, I'm encouraging you all, instead of me lecturing about that material or trying to race through that material, I'm encouraging you all to use this opportunity, this time, to help each other with it, to realize that it's due a ton of points, that I might enforce a deadline of midnight tonight so we can keep rolling so it doesn't get in the way of your final, but it is worth a ton of points. I want you to use this opportunity to talk with each other and help with one another with it right now. You can also help one another and talk with one another about anything that's due for Professor Wu. So it's 2 things that are on the docket. You can talk about it however you want, formally or not, use the chat or not, speak out loud or not. But you'll notice I also put in like a game turn thing, which is like extra credit, which is also worth more points than usual. I think I made it worth like 180 points. And that game turn thing that portal that I just put in like 20 minutes ago, that's there to say any evidence at all. Like, I'm not going to pay attention to this. I mean, I'm sort of going to pay attention, but I'm not going to get involved in your discussion today. And I'm intentionally turning off my mute and my speaker. So you don't worry about whether you're saying right or wrong physics, or you don't try to impress me or anything like that. I'm just here to keep this channel open, to keep this productive class time. But any evidence at all that you can show me later for having participated today in this informal discussion, like any help, whether it's in the chat or by showing video, whatever, you submit to that game portal that I just opened up called Board Meeting. And I'll give you up to 180 points for that. And I wrote in the thing, I'll use my discretion of how many points to give you. Like if you just write one thing in the chat, maybe I'll give you 100 points. I mean, I'll definitely give you something. But if you say a lot or you help people a lot, I'll give you more points, up to 180. But if you're like aggressive or a jerk, or like don't let other people talk, or it's clear to me that someone's trying to talk and you're not letting them, or blah blah, or you're like mean or saying, then like no, then I won't give you a lot of points for that. Okay, it's totally my judgment call. I'm telling you all right now that anybody who participates at all today, like as long as you can screenshot it or somehow remind me of it later in that portal, then you can get a lot of points for that. I'm also saying that any productivity that you can make way on the eFields homework that was technically due today, a lot of points for that. If you already turned it in, but you can make it better from today, great, return it in. Or if you turned it in, you're very confident, then help other people vocally, actively today, and then screenshot that to me. And as long as like you're not dominating or whatever, you'll get a lot of points for that. So meanwhile, and I'm over talking this already, but I'm sort of saying this frantically. Meanwhile, I will be racing to finish your exams like right here and now while you're doing that. So I'm like intentionally not going to pay attention to what you're saying. It's not about me. It's about you. Don't worry about saying correct or incorrect physics. It won't matter. Just like it's an opportunity to work together in whatever way. If I at some point think it's a good idea to make out breakout rooms, I will, but I don't think that's a good idea yet. And I do ask you to kind of leave me alone. I'm going to race to finish these exams. Again, some of you, if you do look, if you're at the beginning of the alphabet, particularly if you look, you'll see many of you, the exam is actually already graded. I just didn't put a final grade in the thing yet. I might do that first now. And some of you, it's not graded yet. That's what I'm going to finish right now. I definitely don't want questions about the exam today. I mean, I don't want questions about the midterm that I'm trying to get back to, nor about the final. I just there's one exception with one person who has to leave early. I can talk to that person right after class. But today is for you to catch up, is to get tons of points for that E&M, for that eField homework, for helping each other with whatever's due for Professor Wu. Again, the more you participate today and the more you help each other, the more points I can give you. If it really, really goes well, I can open up another portal or make it worth even that many more points, whatever. But I think the best thing we could all do is use this time to help each other and help me help you by giving me space. I mean, with all due respect. I mean, I won't go anywhere. I will be here. And again, in about an hour or something, like I'll take a pause and see where we're all at, et cetera, et cetera. One last thing. Again, of course, you're all adults with lives. So of course you can come and go, like you can go use the bathroom, of course you can turn off your video, turn it on. It's totally your discretion. I'm just saying it is class time and we're going to use it in a more of a labby kind of individual kind of way today. I don't always do this, but it's a judgment call. I think will be good for everybody. If for no other reason, so everybody can get their grades back before we go any further. I'm pretty committed to, I have to say, as long as I can get these grades finished to you and get them back to you today, I'm as committed as you guys to making the final exam not a miserable experience and a kind of a short one. I mean, we'll see how these grades are when they come back today, but I don't need the semester to live much longer than 5 weeks for anybody or in a torturous way. So tomorrow's going to be a lot of lecturing, hopefully, and the next day, and a lot of like finishing up for the final exam. And I'll post practice documents either tonight or tomorrow. I'm aware that you have to take a final exam. Again, it will be posted Wednesday after class. The real thing will be posted Wednesday after class and due Saturday. So as tight as that is, I did announce that last time, and I'm going to ask again that we don't even think about that today. I want us to put the midterms behind us first and all this work behind us first and have a clean slate of 2 days to deal with the final exam. If I have to make it super short, I won't have a problem with that, and I don't think you will either. So I'm almost nervous. I'm going to shut up in a second, but again, let me just make it as clear as possible. Once we start this, once it's clear what we're doing, you can come as go as you please, but today is about us working as a group to help each other catch up with everything. And of course, if you have other work that you owe me, you can do that too, but consider it a collective study hall for us all to catch up. And the more space you can give me to quickly finish these exams and the less questions I get on, really will be to everybody's benefit. And especially, I'm going to be turning them as I go. Wait, sorry. Could be. Wait, sorry. Wait. I'm looking at the. Okay.
Sorry, Professor, I have to switch over to my computer.
Oh, no, no problem, no problem, no problem. Okay, I'm going to address the chat in a second, but let me just again say, um, 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 what am I trying to say? But again, once we get rolling, I'm going to really appreciate, like once we get rolling, you're going to see right away, grades are going to start being dumped in people's boxes. I mean, midterm grades. Because again, I don't know, I'm never clear what you can see and what you can't, like before the grade goes in there, but at least half of you, I have a grade ready to go. I just haven't put it in your thing. So grades and documents are going to be dropped into your folders as we go. I'm going to say right now, whether even if you can't read my handwriting, or even if you, whatever your reaction is, please just hold it for a day. Like there will be no statute of limitations. I don't mind. I definitely make mistakes. People can definitely ask questions. I can definitely change things if I did make a mistake, but I would rather not field all that stuff right now while I'm trying to race through and finish them. So I'm going to ask everybody, and same thing with questions about the final exam. Like I will kind of, I'm being a little bit firm, trying to be, like once I'm done with this little speech and I address whatever questions are in the chat, once we get going, if people start asking questions about the final exam or the end of the term or the midterm, I'm going to sort of take that as a sign that you were not paying attention right now. And it's going to kind of bum me out. And I'll be probably less patient than I try to usually be, because I really want us all to take this time seriously. So I'm going to say one last time, just in case anybody just joined, I'm going to look at the private chat in a minute. I mean, I'm going to look at the chat in a minute. I'm going to try to answer any questions that I'm not leaving clear right now. But then once we start, it's going to be about you guys helping each other with any lab work that's outstanding, or if not that, help each other with this final electricity assignment that, or this e-field assignment that some of you have turned in, but most of you have not. I want you to help each other with it. It's worth a ton of points. It is homework, not a test. So worth a ton of points means like you'll get a ton of points if you hand in a very thorough, thoughtful, careful, neat, presentable document, even if the physics isn't right. Like it's okay. But that would be your main goal, to try to get tons of points on that thing, and to try to get tons of points by actively participating today and helping one another. Again, I'll be watching my screen with half an eye, so I will sort of see what's going on, and I'll be here to monitor it in case anybody gets rude or something. But mainly, but I'm not involved in the physics. The physics is up to you. You're going to screenshot or show me evidence later of how much you participated. You're going to get tons of points for the participation and for finishing homework 5, I guess it is, even if it's hard. The fewer questions that can be directed toward me once we start, and I know that's totally rude, I'm just trying to be as clear as possible. Once we start, the fewer questions that can be directed toward me, the better. In fact, really, like, I really don't want any questions until we go like to an hour or something and I pause. So like write them down, or like hold on to them, or wait, please, just to show respect for your colleagues and for the system. Now, first of all, I'm just going to look in the chat. In the chat. Yeah, like, yeah, thank you, Kat. I'm scrolling back up to, oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So thank you for all your answers about the lab thing with Professor Wu, totally clarifying. Thank you very much. And thank you for your, a lot of what we're doing today is in response to like stuff that I've heard from you guys on the side between classes. Like I really am trying to make this as responsive to, your needs as possible. But I know I can't please everybody all the time. But so as far as, so in the direct chat, there's a question about, has the final been created? When's it going to be posted? And yeah, I want to echo and thank Catherine's response. Like, if you're concerned about the final, I can promise you that all the information that exists about the final right now, there is a tab for it. Like it's under exams in the Google Classroom. Like anything that I have said thus far is written out right there, like as Catherine's saying. And yes, I'm still going to try to give you a pre-final document. Like I'm still going to try to give you a document by tonight or tomorrow that shows you exactly what would, I mean, I will, I'm not going to try. I will give you a document tomorrow, some point, that shows you what's going to be on the final before our last class. So we can address it in our last class before it even gets posted. Like I will still do that. It's going to be much more rushed than usual. I don't know if I'll be able to tell you every answer, blah, blah, blah. But yes, there will still be, you'll still know what the final is by tomorrow. And in other words, you'll still know what the final is in enough time to be able to ask questions about it on our very last class before I post it. That I'm still promising. Yes. I mean, that's all, that's like, and I think it says that in the tab. That's like all I know about that right now. Then, so someone in the private chat wrote, because I keep saying it might be short, and someone wrote, how short? Is short like one question? Honestly, it might be. If I can really, look, to be really blunt, I'd like to have the end of the semester be as unmessy and uncrazy and unstressful as possible for all of us, So and part of the thing that holds up and screws up the end of a semester for me usually is if I get slogged in the midterms. Like, right. I mean, it's unfair to you guys if you don't get your midterm grades back. Causes all kinds of stress with the final that's unfair to you guys. And then it puts me in a deep hole with the final. So honestly, if I can get these midterm grades back to you by the end of this period, which is my goal, and I think it's still very possible, and I already apologize that it's, cutting it that close. But if I can get these midterm grades to you by the end of this period, I'm going to breathe out in a big way. And I'm going to feel like, okay, we now have a lot of real numbers in the system. Hopefully the numbers are good, but either way, I'll feel like we have a lot of real numbers in the system. And my need to find out a ton of stuff on the final will be pretty small. So long story short, if I can get the more I can get these numbers back to you efficiently this period, and the more I feel like we've all sort of caught up to ourselves this period, so that by the time we get to Wednesday, the whole world doesn't have to pivot on the final, the more inclined I am to make the final very small. And sure, it could possibly just be one question. That would be just as good to me as it is to you. I can't do that if I feel like the midterm is still like causing a crazy mess for everybody. But yeah, like I could make this final super, like honestly, if I don't want to say more than that, but yeah, the final could be as short as one question. And the more we can use today to totally catch up with ourselves, and that includes me, like this is totally partly maybe it's largely my fault. I wish I had the midterms done before today, but I don't. But if I can have them done by the end of this period, then I'll feel like, and if you can have, your chance to catch up on any extra points that you can get either through homework 5 or through this new game turn thing. Remember, every point you get is just a point you get. Like it's all extra credit in a way. And I keep being asked about extra credit, but all your points, every single point you ever get in this class, besides on the exam or in the lab, is extra credit. So use today to get as many points as you can, even if it's catching up on old homeworks that you never turned in, that's fine. And I'll use today to give you as many points as I can through your midterm. And if we can get through that, I'm perfectly happy to make the final a less dramatic experience than the midterm. Believe me. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, okay. And if you already handed in homework 5, if you and you're confident of it and you think it's right, then please, and I'm answering anybody who asked this in the direct chat, then your job today is to help other people. Like, don't just hand people your answers and walk away, but like actually help them. And whether that means through chat or on video, like help them in a way that you can show a little evidence of that to me later in the portal. Like, I mean, yeah, you can give, you all can share answers. I'm not saying you can't, but just giving people raw answers really doesn't help anybody. But yes, you can. But the more you can help today, the better. If you really, now I'm saying this to everybody in the room, if you really feel like you've done everything and you got so many points already that you don't even need these points, and you think you did fine on the exam and blah blah, then you can go and get a cup of coffee for an hour. Like, and I'm not saying that sarcastically. If you think you're already set in the class, I'm not going to make you do busy work just for busy work's sake. Again, a lot of you are going to get exam grades back today. The one thing I don't want is anybody in the room who does feel like they're basically solid and already did the homework or whatever. If you get your midterm grade back today is not the day to ask me questions about it. I'm saying this to everybody, okay? I would actually rather you just go take a break and deal with another class or something. If you're set in the class and then you get your midterm grade back, that means I'm worried about other people at the moment. So please indulge me and trust me. And if you have an issue with this is to everybody. If you have an issue with any aspect of your midterm grade, trust the fact that I don't mind those kind of questions or complaints. I would mind it today, and I would react badly today. Like, it just wouldn't be a strategic judgment call for anybody to start worrying about their midterm grade today, because some of you will have it back already and some won't. So I want to make sure everybody has it back before I worry about stuff like this. So yeah, if you've done homework 5 already, please try to help other people. If that's not going well, or it doesn't seem worth it to you, or it seems stupid, then sure, take a walk, and it's totally fine. And I mean that. Okay. And yes, what I'm trying to say to everybody is where you're going to upload your participation. There totally is a portal for that now. I mean, this is not a stupid question. But I uploaded the portal, unless maybe someone can confirm. I made the portal like an hour ago. It's called Game Turn. It's not Game Turn 11. It's like Game Turn Board Meeting. Oh, look, Could someone confirm? I believe I put it in and it's worth like,
It's game, it's lecture, game, board meeting.
thank you, Naomi. Awesome. Thank you, Shamari. Okay. By the way, that's points to both of you. Yes. So that one. And thank you. And it's worth like 180 points. Remember, these things, the game turns are usually worth like 50. And then some of the special ones, like if you show video, is worth like 105 or something. This one's worth 180, up to 180. I mean, some people might get more points than others, but it's up to, and I'm not trying to be kindergarten-y about this. I promise to anybody. I'm just trying to say, like, you know, this, I've gotten so many questions about extra credit. I just want to reemphasize that this whole class is it's just a point accumulation class other than the exams. Every point is extra and no one's ever punished for anything except for getting things wrong on an exam. So like, so yeah, so that's where, so that's the answer to where to upload. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Shamari. Thank you. And thank you. Who was it? And Naomi, thank you. Okay.
It's easy too. I just different accounts sometimes log into.
Oh, sorry, Edie. Yeah, that's what I was wondering from you. Like, whoa. Okay, but yeah. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, okay. I'm seeing some things in the private chat that I totally appreciate. That calms me down. I know I'm being like a frantic person. All right, thank you both, and thank you, Shomari. Okay, so I'm gonna take it. So momentarily when we start, again, I'm gonna turn off. I'm probably gonna turn off my face. I'm probably gonna turn off the screen too. You should have the right to share screens. I believe you do technologically. I'm going to turn off my screen so y'all can share screens. I'm also going to turn off my screen so that you don't like see me while I'm grading. Grades will drop in your box as I'm going. Again, please just like, whether they're good or bad, just accept them for the moment. And you know, you can look through the stuff, but just like talk to me about them tomorrow. And I'm just trying to drop. I have no judgment about those grades either. I'm just dropping them as I go. So you'll talk amongst yourselves. Can I just get like a quick, and I will also, if this is helpful enough, I mean, we are quick question. If you want me to not record this, if you guys think you'll do more to help each other and say more, if it's not recorded, I'm perfectly happy with that. Can I get does anyone want to give me quick feedback on that? Would you rather I turn off the recording? Is that better for people or worse? If it's,
I mean, honestly, if you leave it, that'll be fine also because God forbid you're not really paying attention. You need to go back to see who got the points. You have credit. You have proof to go back and see.
I'm so glad you just said that, not me. Yes, that's wonderful. All right, I'm going with that. I love the God forbid part. Yes. I mean, I didn't want to say good. So that all right, I'm going to take that. I need a portal for points just for that. I'm going to take that to mean both that people are getting what I'm saying. Like, yeah, yes, this hopefully will be that productive that if you walk away, you'll want to hear what happened later on. I totally applaud. All right, so I'm going to take, thank you, Agio. Great. So I'm going to take both of those. I'm going to take, and the couple of little response I got on the direct message, I'm going to take that to mean that people understand what I'm saying, and I totally appreciate it. And please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my jittery attitude. But I mean, have we met? So I'm going to shut I'm leaving the channel on. I'm turning my face off. I'm turning my mic off. I'm probably turning my speaker off, at least for a while. So you guys can just do whatever you want. And I'm just here grading things. In about 45 minutes or an hour, I'll check in and I won't alarm, I'll tell you I'm here, I'm back, and we'll see where we're at. But we'll continue to do the same thing. But okay, I totally appreciate everybody's dear Aunt Sally. I am going to miss you people. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm turning off the screen share. I'm turning off. Okay, and I'm turning off. I'm putting myself on.
Does anybody want to start a share? Oh, Professor, are you still there? In order for someone to share their screen, you have to make them the host as well. Professor, I don't around the computer, but someone's in the waiting room waiting.
Okay, can you, I don't want to interrupt you for too long, but can, whoever's here, and I understand, whoever's here, can you hear me? Yes, okay, great, thank you. Okay, so, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna try to be brief here. I know today's weird. It might be, it's weird. It's probably not what anybody exactly wanted. I understand that. Okay, great, thank you. Okay. First of all, like, look, I think whenever we all work together, it's actually always much more productive than it feels at the time, and it often feels nasty. I could get all into a whole thing about, but I recognize that each one of you is having to put up with each one of the others of you. And I also, by the way, quick note, I recognize that that's a big deal in lab groups. I mean, if we weren't in COVID and Zoom and all of that, I'd probably spend a whole day discussing with you how empathetic I totally get how hard it is to work in lab groups, especially if it's not on, or it's like even harder when we're not on Zoom, and maybe there's ways in which it's even harder on Zoom. And I totally get how hard it is that your grade depends on what your lab members do. I know about all those issues, and I hear about them a lot in private. And I do want to tell you that whole business in physics is one of the most unpopular aspects of physics. The fact that your grade in any way in lab ever depends on other people. Everybody hates that. Everybody, except for me. No, I hate it. I hated it when I was a student. I totally hate it. And it's not your lab professor's choice. And whenever your lab professor's choice, whenever your lab professor is nice about it, they're being nice. That's totally my policy. And I totally, the more people hate it and the more people complain to me, the more I keep it. And I'm not saying that to be, but because I just know from being on that side how important it is to learn how to hold one another accountable. And for, as a scientist and as a science collaborator, as a science colleague, like, I just want to take this moment to say, I know it's really hard to work with each other. And I know it's super annoying to have your grade in any way in the fate of somebody else. Super annoying. And I hated that when I was in graduate school and college, but it is on purpose. It's not an accident. And if you want to be angry at anybody for it, be angry at me. Don't be angry at your lab professor, like for real. And also don't be angry at your lab colleagues, even if they are totally irresponsible and you feel like their grade is going to screw you in the end. The other, okay, wait, someone's chat 1 second. I'm trying to make this quick because I do want to, I know, okay. I really do know how annoying it is, like to deal with other people, especially when you feel like you can manage your own affairs and your own grade. Let me also, and it's annoying in lecture and recitation, and it may have been annoying right now for the last 2 hours. But let me also say that I've been there and I've been on both sides. And one thing about this class, just remember, you're not actually competing in this class, really. I mean, you're always competing a little bit, and you are competing in the program. I know that, but just please remember there is not a finite number of A's to go around. Like, someone else can get an A and it doesn't affect your A. Please, all of you remember that. So, and please know that I'm paying attention to a lot more. I see a lot more than some of you may think that I see, and I hear a lot more. I mean, what I'm saying is, even if some of you sometimes are looking like you're grabbing points that the others of you can't grab fast enough because of that, it's not at those of you who are quieter are not losing the way you might think sometimes. I mean, I'll just say that. And those of you who are, anyway, I hope that's clear. But the main thing is, no, the other thing is that really what I do know from experience, and again, I know as a student and as a teacher, that when you guys work with each other, a lot more happens than you realize at the time. And even when people say wrong things to each other, but like, first of all, when you're trying to explain something to someone else, you end up learning a lot more from that process probably than they do, and probably than you realize. Like, again, the only reason I know any physics really is because of the number of times I've been forced to try to explain it to other people. Like, really. Like, that's where the learning like really happens, like really. So anytime you think you're trying to help someone else, believe me, they are not benefiting at your expense. Hardly. Probably you're benefiting at their, okay. Number two, even when you hear wrong things or you guys discuss things that I don't correct or something like that, believe me, that is much more to your educational benefit than it feels like at the time. I mean, again, I don't want to waste your time right now, but these magic educational moments that are depicted in movies and on TV and stuff, like the aha, oh my God, it all just fell into place right then because the teacher said the perfect thing and I was perfectly listening and like those are magic moments, but they're few and far between and they're just like exciting eureka moments. They are not mostly how you learn. How you learn is much more of a slow process that doesn't feel good while it's happening, honestly. Also, some of those magic moments are totally deceptive. It can feel like you just totally got something in a moment or like that someone just broke through something for you. And in fact, it could be a total misunderstanding. I mean, not to diminish anybody's, but just don't get, just please trust that then this like 2 hours, when you guys were trying to help each other, a lot more was happening than you might realize. A lot more was going into your brains than might have felt like it at the moment. And I was watching the chat and stuff like that. And I am totally impressed with what I saw and and I saw that like at least 3 different topics happened. Like it wasn't just about clamoring for points to get to put in the portal. Like, I don't think that was everybody's motivation. And whatever points you do get in the portal later, like God bless, electron bless. But a lot more is happening than meets the eye. Okay, I'm totally babbling. Here's the other, okay, on the exams, a lot of you have now actually, like, not just see documents that are in there, but a lot of you have just gotten grades back. A lot of you have not. That is partly why I'm still frantic. I wish that were not, I mean, we still have a little time, but a lot of you still have not gotten numbers back. A lot of you have. I'm sure the people that have probably already have comments or concerns or whatever. Again, I'm totally appreciating. I already see the self-restraint and the self-respect that you guys are showing by not raising your issues right now. Again, if there are any issues tomorrow, I totally will address them. I promise. That's literally a promise. Like, even if we don't do any more physics, one order of business tomorrow will be that I'll address any like major concerns about the midterms and the midterm grades. Another major promise is that you will get advanced look at what our final will look like, so that by Wednesday, you can ask any questions about what that final is. I'm still continuing to promise that. Hopefully that final will be shorter, tighter, whatever. Okay, so so again, I apologize right now. Some of you have midterm grades, some of you don't. There's a lot of momentum now. I can tell you that at worst, even if this class ends today and some of you still don't have them, I'm going to just keep racing, and you really will have them by tonight. I mean, like one way or the other, you will. I mean, I'm too excited. I can't stop. Okay, so you will. When you go to look at, I'll just explain to everybody very quickly, like how I'm doing them or like what to look for or whatever, partly because of the way Google Classroom works. What because it won't let me, like if I start a document, I can't then like edit on top of what I already started. I can't save twice. I don't know why, like it'll lose all my edits. So what most of you will find, hopefully maybe the first few were a mess, but hopefully it got clear after a while. What most of you will find is like, there's like 3 returned documents to you. Like you have your document there, and then you'll see if you got something back from me. And again, if you're like in the middle of the alphabet, you probably didn't get something back from me yet, and it's not personal, and I apologize. But if you got something back from me, you'll see that there's like 3 edited documents that you got back. Each one is one of the 3 parts. Like I just called them part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever choices you make or whatever. So it's like a 40-point thing, a 40-point thing, and a 20-point thing. And then if you did extra credit, then there's the extra credit. And so hopefully on the front of each document, you'll just see a part where I just wrote like part 1, 18 points out of 40, or 22 points out of 40, or whatever. Or I'll write part 3, like 11 points out of 20. So then you have to scroll through to find my edits. Like I hope it's clear. Like I did part 1 in one document. I did each part 1 at a time. So your total score should be just the sum of those 3 scores out of like 2 scores out of 40, 1 score out of 20, you put them all together, you have a score out of 100. And then if you got any extra credit, then you add on that exam, then you add the extra credit to that. So one thing I just want to say, if you got it, or when you get it back, or if you got it back, and again, I appreciate that there's no comments today, but the first thing you can bring to my attention tomorrow, certainly if I added up the points wrong, like that's the first thing, just check, like, okay, he's saying I got a 65. Did I actually, if I add up the 3 parts, do they add up to 65 points? It should be that straightforward. If I made a math error, of course, I want you to bring it to my attention and I'll correct it. Okay. And where do you see all the points being taken off? What I do is on each page, like, wherever I'm taking off points, I write like a little minus or whatever. I put a circle in it. I try to make a comment to you about why I took the points off. Sometimes you can read my handwriting, sometimes you can't. But then what I do, like those could be anywhere on a page, but then I just add them all up. And at the bottom of every page, if there's any red marks at all, then at the bottom lower right corner, there's like a total of all the points that got taken off on that page. That's just so then I can flip through late and, and add them up. So basically the first thing you should do before you worry about my handwriting or physics or anything is just make sure that all the points at the bottom right of the pages all add up to the number of points that I'm saying that you lost. Just subtract that total from 100, and that should be your raw score on the whole thing. And that's like all anybody's getting on these are raw scores on the whole thing out of 100 plus possibly some extra credit. And if you got extra credit, I just mean on this exam. I mean, if there's extra credit points on this exam, it's just because you chose to do that extra credit exam problem. Okay. So again, if you haven't gotten it back yet, I apologize. Some of you have not, many of you have. First thing to check is just that I literally added up the points correctly before you even get into like why I took them off or whatnot. Then of course, after that, if you think I added up all the points correctly and then you can't read my handwriting somewhere, or you think I don't understand why I lost points, of course, then you'll bring that to my attention tomorrow. If it's a thing, use your judgment, whether it's like personal or not. In general, I'll tell you that wherever I do take off points, I try usually, no matter how many points the problem is worth, if you did anything for the problem, usually, unless it's like big, I usually take off like 2 or 3 points, even if the whole problem is worth 6 or something like that. I mean, to lose all the points of a problem, you really have to leave it blank pretty much. So usually if you have any questions, it's probably that you don't understand why I took off at all, but probably once you understand why I took off, I don't think there's going to be that much disputing of why I took off the number of points I did. I mean, usually it's smaller than it could be. I don't want to overtalk this way. It's 3:40. The grades right now are all over the place. Honestly, they're all over the place. Like they're definitely, and that's because I'm being, like I warned everybody, like I'm being super strict and super picky on these final exams. I am taking off points whenever people don't, excuse me, on these midterm exams. If it is frequently the case that I wrote WIQ and then took off 2 points. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Right. So if I didn't do your grade, that's a fair question, Molly. If you didn't get your exam yet, you're going to have it tonight one way or the other. It may not be in the next hour, but you're going to have it tonight. I mean, I do have to run and go do stuff, but I'm just going to keep doing them. So if you didn't get it yet, you will get it tonight. Like, I don't want to see these things again as of once tonight is over. I want us all to be up to the final. So I do apologize, but you will. And, that's a promise. You will, because I'm almost there. Well, kind of, but okay. No, thank you. And I'm sort of wasting time now, even talking about this, if you haven't all gotten them back, but when you get it back, that's what to look for. Like you'll see 3 documents, one is out of 40, one's out of 40, and one's out of 20. Like no matter who you are. So just make sure, like, and on the front page of each one of those, it'll say like part 1, 37 out of blah, blah. So just like add those up and make sure it adds to whatever I said your score was. The grades are all over the place. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm being strict because again, like, it was take home. You did have all this time, blah, blah. I am being, and I feel like I'm being generous everywhere else. And there's points that you can get everywhere else. So here I'm just trying to like really honestly tell you whether I really think at every step of the thing, whether this is great physics or not. So I'm telling you all right now, and I'm saying this frantically, but not critically. A lot of you will get it back and see that your grade is in the 60s or the 70s or something like that. I'm not telling you to panic. I'm telling you, like, you may already see that. A lot of I don't know the average yet because I'm not done. A lot of the grades are in the 60s or the 70s. That does not mean you're going to fail the course. It does not mean you're getting a D or C in the course. You should not panic. What it probably does mean that if you had a 65 or 70, you want to make sure you kind of, it's probably more about like your approach to the thing. Like be extra careful in the final about making sure that you know what the question is and that I know you know what the question is. Like, remember that you're really trying to show me that you understand. You're not just trying to show me the physics. You're trying to show me that you either directly got this physics from our class and we've been communicating, or if you got the physics somewhere else, you're really going to extra pains to show me that you didn't just get it from somewhere else, that it went through your brain and out onto the paper, right? But what I'm going to say, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, the grades are all over the place. That's just to show you that we're in a serious, I mean, it's not to show you, that shows you we're in a serious class. It's a real deal. It makes it all the more incumbent on you to want to get as many points as you can from the homework, from the from the game turns, like you could still, turn those in that could still from before if you're honest about it, blah, blah, blah. Any like scan through if there's any game turns that you could still do, like show video or whatever, or subscribe to YouTube, like do them. I want you to have as many points as possible. I don't want any of you to think that just because person X has a lot of points that means you can't get an A. I could give you all A's and I wouldn't be giving you, you could all earn A's and it would not be a problem. So I'm going to say one more quick thing about this, since I am kind of like rushing and trying to do, you won't, on the final will only be whatever we've learned here. If there's certain things that we don't ever get to talk about, then I apologize and it's our loss in life, but it won't be your loss in a grade. Therefore, I could tell you where I'm already heading in my mind. Because the grades were all over the place, and some of you probably are going to be concerned about your grades, we're going to do but you're getting them back, okay? For those of you who are there. So we're going to do a system like what I did last semester for kind of different reasons. I'm going to tell you right now that somehow or other, what I'm going to do with the final, not only I'm going to make it shorter, but I'm going to somehow do a system where your better grade counts more. So I'm going to think this through more formally. I'm just saying this right now to kind of, any of you who there are people in the room that I know have been working, that I know have been here every day, that I know raise questions and have been turning in all the homework and being really responsible. And I know that they did not get a great, that some of them did not get a great grade on this test. I'm as concerned for them as they are for themselves. They know who they are. I'm saying this with compassion, not with critique, but I'm saying I know there are responsible people in this room that just got a number back that probably throws them and might, given their personality, might even make them think that their life is over. I want to tell you all that that is not true. And we're going to do something on the final to save you and me. We're going to do something where we are going to have a final so that the people who just got a bad grade on this have another chance to have another number that really helps them out. And plus all the homework numbers will help them out. Okay. We are going to do a final and I'm going to ask you to take it seriously, especially if you're concerned about the number you got here. But I'm also going to, and I'll probably weight the final more for you if you did badly here. But for those of you who did really well here for whatever, and there are those of you as well, I'm also going to say you could probably chill out a little bit on the final. Like I haven't worked out the math yet, but I'm going to do something where basically whichever grade you did better on is going to count more for you. Okay. It'll make less work. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Like the reason we're going to have a final is to help the people that need it. And the reason we're not going to make it crazy or make my life crazy with grading it is because those people who already they've passed through some solid walls here, like don't necessarily have to beat their head against another wall. Okay. The idea is for everybody to do as well as for as many people to do as well as possible. That's with as little stress at this point for you and for me as possible. Okay. Wait. So there's someone in the chat. Sorry. Oh, or maybe I got, oh no. Oh, okay. I guess I got that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I mean, and look, I much prefer talking about physics than grading physics. I'm sure you can see. I'd much rather be teaching right now. And there's more material I want to get to. I will say that some of the material that we won't get to, there are books on Amazon that I wrote that are, I recommend, whatever. Like there's a book I wrote that used to be How to Crack the Final Exam in This Class. It was literally like it's called like Backfields. It's on Amazon. It's in my name. Yeah, it's literally like the test spec. It's like past exams and past solutions for a final exam. But I'm not telling you to buy. I'll tell you right now, our final exam is not going to be, you won't need it. Like our final exam is not going to be as crazy as that book assumes. But if you really want to learn the material or you care about the material, you feel like you're going to be losing something because we're going to end in 2 days, buy the book and send my kids to college. That's kind of a joke. But what I'm saying is, believe me, I want to get to as much material as I can. But I also want to make sure you have clear and fair and not stressful grades before we go any further. So what I'm going to say right now, I think what I'm going to say right now, yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep grading these things. You'll just keep getting the numbers in your box. Again, I recognize that a bunch of people have gotten back. Not one person has protested or asked a question about their grade yet, which I appreciate. Just in the name of time, I appreciate that. So I'm going to say this. Yeah, actually, I'm going to say, I think Is there any quick questions? I'm happy to answer them now, quick, like concrete questions or like, I'd be happy to answer them now. Other than that, what I'm gonna, if I'm sort of being clear and if you sort of pardon me for all this, I'm gonna shut us down in a minute or two, like once there's any questions, and I don't mean big unwieldy questions, but like concrete questions. I'll try to answer them now. And then I'm going to shut down and I'm just going to keep grading things. I will warn you after one somewhere with my son. So there's going to be a pause in the grading, but I'm just going to keep plowing through these things and they'll keep dropping in your boxes as we go through tonight. There are some left to get. And it is I'm basically going from different ends of the alphabet. It has nothing to do with who you are, what order I'm doing it in. So bear with me, but a bunch of you have, okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Okay. That's helpful. And thank you for putting in the public chat. So, is there anything and again, here's my promises again. Okay, fine. All right, that's fair. I can take that. Okay, last promise, you'll get them by tomorrow and you'll have a practice exam to talk. You'll be able to ask questions about this tomorrow and you'll be able to ask questions about the final exam by Wednesday and it'll be posted Wednesday evening. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yes, have a good day. You can leave. I'm staying here for questions, but cool. Thank you both very much.
Thank you. Have a great day, Professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Professor.
Yes, hi.
So, I just wanted to let you know tomorrow, like, I might not like be able to come to class because I have a doctor's appointment with my nephrologist tomorrow. Yeah,
You're telling me. Okay.
yeah. I just wanted to let you know, just just ahead of time. I don't know. I don't know why I tried to like try to make a schedule. I tried to like set a time where like that where it wasn't during like the 5 weeks of physics, but I don't know. I guess they're like really like booked around this time and the next time, and I haven't been there in over a year because of COVID. So, and the next time I could get an appointment was like late, like like December, and my parents are like worried about my my health. I haven't been there in a while, so I have to, I couldn't like wait any longer to go back to my nephrologist. I just wanted to let you know.
I totally appreciate that. And I totally understand. Since tomorrow's like the second time, I would definitely recommend watching the video once it gets posted, just to make, because I'm sure I'm going to be saying a lot of things about like the final and stuff. But yeah, that's totally understood. No worries.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding, Professor.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks.
Also, I have one more question. I just finished. I know homework 5 was due like last Wednesday, but I was just taking time to do to finish. I was taking time to finish like lab. I mean homework 5 at my own pace, and just like all the game turns from last week. It's still fine if I hand them in like today, right?
Yeah. It's still, yes. As long as you're honest about them, you can still do that. Yes. And
I was just working at my own pace because homework 5 was a little bit confusing, but I was just reading the notes again, and I was working on it like slowly, but I was wondering if I can hand them. I just finished it last night finally, and all the turns from last week because I was going through them just like one by one. I was just wondering if I could turn it in still.
Yeah, as long as they're honest and they, they show the right thing for the right day. Yes, don't worry. And definitely homework 5, you can definitely still hand it. Yes.
I'll thank you, Professor.
Cool.
That's everything I had. So I'll have a great time. Have a great rest of the day. Great day.
Okay, thanks. You too. You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye. And Noelia, are you there? Noelia, are you there? Noelia, are you there?